Oh, Bill, how are you? Good to see you. It's been a long time. Has it been that long? We were trying to figure out the last time I was in Savannah, and it was the fourth. It was the fourth. We're getting old. Yeah. Yeah, you can say that again. Yeah, yeah. It's really since about the time you retired, it's starting to kind of get on it. It hasn't slowed down. I mean, particularly the time we did the Raycom deal, and then ever since then, it's just been one deal after another. And we're in 113 markets, and 160 some odd affiliations or whatever. It's just truly kind of it's a big company. Well, just looked at it actually. Sorry, that's the only way I could keep track of it, to be honest with you. I'm hell getting old. You look good. Great seeing you too, Bill. Take care.
Spending a lot of money on suggestions.
How many conversations? Probably 30.
I'll be right back. Ladder. I don't know if you can see me or hear me. Ladder. We will be pulling you on pretty soon in about 10 minutes after the introductions. Hopefully you can see me. And I have two Serbian friends that live here in Savannah that I want to, they're coming up to the podium. We'll talk to Ladder, and then I'll have Ladder just give an update of what we're going to be doing. I got to go ring the bell. Hey, Sue.
Pat Laplante. So nice to meet you. How's it going? Awesome. Okay.
Welcome to the Rotary Club of Savannah's May 2nd, 2022 meeting. Today we have Kimberly Ballard, Washington's daughter, singing for our club. Come on up, Carrie.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Beautiful. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and our invocation will, Elizabeth, come on up.
For those of you inclined, please join me in this invocation. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to gather here safely today. We seek your continued wisdom and guidance as we begin this meeting and as we strive to advance the goals of this great organization. May we use our time here together to engage meaningfully, respecting and seeking to understand differences in each other so that we might find common ground to promote the betterment of our community. And as we practice our respective professions and pursue our goals, may we do so with humility and with vigilance towards truth, integrity, and excellence. And finally, may your grace and example be our guide in our business here and in life. Amen.
Please be seated. Rabbi Haas, please come to the podium to introduce our guests and visiting Rotarians.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Hope everyone had a good week. I had a fabulous week. I did the traditional daddy thing and took my kids to Orlando for the first time. And I left on Tuesday, so I wouldn't miss Rotary, as unlike some of you tend to do. And it's a rite of passage. And I just was thinking of what was the best day of every day? What was the best moment of my first day at Disney? You know, you have the beautiful rides. We got there at 7:45. I left at 9:15. You have the food. You've got the children's animals. You got all the wonderful. There's just tons of things to do. But you know what the best part of my first day at Disney? It wasn't all of the rides. It wasn't all the Star Wars stuff. My best favorite moment is when I got home about 11 o'clock at night and I went into my children's bedroom and I kissed them goodnight because I hadn't seen them all day. That was the best part of my first day of Disney. Say thank you to my wife, please, for letting me have the day alone. Let's welcome those people who are visiting. First, Ray Raybeck, who is a visiting Rotarian. Please rise when I call your name. Andrew Walkoff, who is with Bowen and Falligat, a guest of Todd. I'm not pronouncing his last name because I miss it up every single time. Baird, right? Nope. Baird. I'm never mind. We're going to change your last name to make it easier. Tony Barone, who is with a proctologist and prologistics. Thank you. Prologistics. He's a guest of Lori Pitts. It's misspelled. It's misspelled here. Jody Patterson, who is Gray's Reef, is a guest of the club. Danielle Smith at Georgia Southern, a guest of Robert Grant. Tom Matthews at WTOC, a guest of Larry's. Maya Sirik and Sanisha Sirik, other guests of Marjorie's. Sophie Bull, who is the GRSP student at Metro Sweden, a guest of Mike's. And of course, our own GRSP student. Okay, Sylvia's here. Barry Sorash, who is also a guest of WTOC. Loretta Lepore, who was with the Georgia Port Authority, guest of Jamie McCurry, and Todd McNulty, who is also with WTOC, a guest of Larry Silberman. Let's please welcome them all.
I'd like to give a shout out to Rayshawn Lawrence. I'm not sure. Did you introduce Rayshawn?
Okay, we got to get you processed. So Rayshawn, this past couple of months, I've been helping out at Savannah State with teaching some students how to do PR. And this young man actually, learned how to write press releases, and he ended up getting an article on the front page of the Savannah Tribune. I'm very proud of you. And by the way, he is looking for an internship in PR. So also, we have some very special guests from Serbia. So if you guys can come on up to the podium, and we're going to pull on, of course, we leave for Serbia tomorrow once we get our COVID test right after this. Hopefully everything will be, fingers crossed. But we are going to introduce our guests over in Serbia. Can you pull Vladar? There he is. Vladar, how are you? Come on up this way.
Hello, my friends. All the best to the members of Rotary Club Savannah.
We are very excited. We'll be there Wednesday morning, God willing, and we will start our week-long tour of your beautiful city in Belgrade. I want you to meet. Can you see everybody? I don't know.
Of course.
Yes. Okay, so this is our club, and I want you to meet our friends from Serbia here. Maybe speak some Serbian.
Hello, my friends.
Dobar dan, Vlado, kako ste?
Dobar dan. Vrlo dobro. Lepo je čuti svoj jezik u inostranstvu, tako?
Dobar dan, probali smo da vežbamo s njima prošli put, ali
Evo.
Well, dobar dan means good afternoon. So if you want to try few Serbian words, if you ever need, dobar dan and hvala, yes, dobar dan and hvala means good afternoon and thank you, and it goes a long way from there. So that's good.
Also, one very often words, nema problema, you understand?
Oh yes, absolutely.
no problem.
Or nothing. Even when there is a lot of problems, then there is no problems. It's okay. Vlado, hvala za sve što radite. Ovo je sve jako uzbudljivo. Tako
Hvala i
da,
vama. Kad vas možemo očekivati u Beogradu?
u junu.
Welcome in Belgrade. You will see, I hope.
So yeah, not to confuse you, but we just want to also thank, last time when we here, we really wanted to thank, and again, Marjorie and your club for doing this, what you're doing for Serbian kids and education. It's really, really appreciated. But also we would like to thank Vlada and the Belgrade office for making the connection and doing this. It's really, really appreciated. So we are really grateful for this.
Vlada, do you want to give a quick update of what we'll be doing for the week?
Yes. You will be only 5 days. I hope you must come again when you see what Serbia have. You will see some historical place in my country. First, Belgrade, very old town, more than 16 centuries, and also the oldest part of Balkan, Viminacium, which is older than 2000 years. We will see, because we have the 17 Roman Empire who was born on our territory, and it is very important part of our history. And director of this Viminacium is our Rotarian. That means that everything will be very beautiful. Also, we will visit one of the oldest church in the Balkan, and also one of the biggest church in the world, Hram Sveti Sava. It's excellent place to see. And what is the most important? To have good fellowships, to have good time, to be on two rivers. Belgrade have two rivers, Dunab and Sava, and to have good moments between Rotarians, and I hope new and very good friendships between us. We are also very exciting. We are waiting for you. I think it will be beautiful experience for the both sides. Thank you, Marjorie. Thank you to all the members of Rotary Club Savannah, especially thanks to our friend, past district governor, Hamza Top. Thank you to everybody.
Thank you. We will see you day after tomorrow. Thank you.
Yes. Also with me is my wife, Jadranka. She will also be your host, and I think it will be.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Jadranka was 1 year in America when she was very young. She was in studies in change.
I'm still very young, but it was a
Sorry.
long time ago.
My mistake.
I consider the United States, especially the South, I must say, my second home, because I spent my senior year in high school in San Antonio, Texas.
Oh.
So we are very excited about your visit and looking forward to seeing you soon. Have a safe trip and
Thank
see
you.
you in a couple of days.
Thank you very much. Of course, we're going to be staying with family there. We're not going to be at a hotel. We're actually going to be staying with other Rotarians. It's part of the Friendship Exchange Global Grant site visit that we're doing. And I haven't met my host family yet, but we will on Wednesday. So
Yes.
very good. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So of course, this all started when past President Ted Kleisner got this our club as the lead for this $78,000 global grant. It was identified that in Belgrade that they needed help in this area. And of course, Rotary has 7 areas of focus, with education being one. So we became the lead club, which means that Rotary International pays for 4 people to go over there. So this money is not coming out of our club. It's coming out of Rotary International as an effort to build more friendships and peace in the world. So thank you, past President Ted. I wish you were going to, but maybe next time. So next week, Roger and Sinisha will be playing the national anthem from Serbia and then the American anthem. So thank you for helping with that. I'll actually be running the meeting from Zoom, and Ted will be up here ringing the bell and making it happen. So, okay, I've got some good news from the district. This club is gold. We got the gold award this year. Very proud of all the projects that we did. We did the global grant, we did the district stuff. So that was a big honor to accept that this weekend in Augusta, Georgia. All right, now I'd like to have Todd Bad. Did I say that correctly? Close enough. Okay. Introduce our new Rotarian.
Thank you, Marjorie. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce Faye DeMassimo to Rotary Club of Savannah. Faye is currently the Executive Director, CEO of Chatham Area Transit, CAT. She has over 40 years experience with federal, regional, and local public entities, as well as the private sector in the development, management, and delivery of multimodal transportation programs. She previously served for over 2 years as a senior advisor, transportation and infrastructure to Mayor John Cooper, an interim director of the Metro Nashville Department of Transportation, and the City of Atlanta Renew Atlanta T-Splosh General Manager and the director of the Cobb County Department of Transportation. It's a lot, Faye. During her earliest career service with Lee Russell Council of Governments, she led transit service for a 2-county region, and later during her tenure at Cobb County DOT, also held responsibility for the county transit operations. Both during her tenure in the private sector, as well as with the City of Atlanta, she worked with MARTA on key initiatives. She holds 3 degrees from Auburn University, including a Bachelor of Science in Public Administration and Masters of Community Planning and Public Administration. Additionally, she is a fellow of the American Institute of Certified Planners. Faye has participated in numerous leadership programs and community organizations over the years, and she presently serves on the Grays Reef National Marine Sanctuary Foundation Board of Trustees. She and her husband, Tom, live in downtown Savannah. They are parents of 3 sons, something I know something about, and grandparents of 2 granddaughters, as well as serving at the pleasure of 2 rescue dogs. Please join me in welcoming Faye DeMassimo to Rotary Club of Savannah.
Okay, we want you to wear this red badge for about 6 months. We want you to join a committee and help welcome all the Rotarians as they come in. Faye actually jumped right in when I met with her. And it was right before Party with a Purpose. And I said, we got to figure out who we're going to be raising money for. She said, hey, we can do it for Gray's Reef. So Gray's Reef, come on up. We've got a $715 check for Gray's Reef. So that we'd like to present to you. That was with Party with a Purpose. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that was a super fun day. And Ben, if you're here from the Telfair, thank you for the tour. And Josh, thank you for buying the alcohol. And we've got another one coming up on May 12th with Junior Achievement. So, okay, I did 2 with 1 today, but let's go ahead and everybody please stand and welcome Faye DeMassimo. Very good. We've got another new member today. I'd like to have Jay Wendell come to the podium and introduce Michael Owens.
Thank you, Marjorie. Good afternoon, everyone. I have the honor of welcoming and the pleasure of welcoming Michael Owens. Michael began his lifelong career in the hospitality industry while growing up in Atlanta. He made his home in Savannah more than 20 years ago. And for a decade, Michael worked for HLC Hotels, a local Savannah hospitality company. At HLC, Michael was charged with overseeing the operations of multiple properties. And in 2012, he was hired as president and chief executive officer of the Tourism Leadership Council. He and his distinguished board of directors led the largest trade organization representing the tourism and hospitality community in Georgia. In 2013, he founded the Savannah Food and Wine Festival, which raised over $500,000 for local nonprofits and charities. In the festival's last year before the COVID-19 pandemic, the festival was ranked the #7 best festival in the United States by USA Today. Quite an accomplishment. Beginning in 2019, Michael has led the effort to secure funding on the expansion of the Savannah Convention Center. With the expansion now well underway, it stands as the largest single project appropriation in state history. Michael was appointed to serve as a permanent member of the Tourism Advisory Committee. He serves on the executive committee of the Savannah Area Chamber of Commerce and is vice chairman of employability. He is chairman of the Savannah Technical College Programs Advisory Committee and is member of the advisory board for the Hospitality and Food Industry Management Program at the University of Georgia in Athens. He is a proud board member of the 200 Club of the Coastal Empire and serves on the finance committee for the Governor Brian P. Kemp. In 2021, Michael was awarded the Herb and Franklin Traub Visionary Award for his work and advocacy within the community. He is an active supporter and volunteer for the 200 Club of the Coastal Empire, the Savannah Harbor Foundation, Coastal Hospitality Education Foundation, and Autism Speaks. In 2020, Michael and his wife, Amanda, founded Grace Autism Services, a Savannah-based company that provides medical therapy services to children on the autism spectrum throughout Georgia. His wife was appointed by executive order to the board of directors of the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities by Governor Brian Kemp. Please join me in welcoming Michael Owens.
Congratulations, Michael. We asked you to help welcome everybody come in and join a committee. I'm going to assign you to the fundraising committee. Okay, if you can raise that much kind of money. Wow.
They're out of money now.
Oh, well,
No
now
more
you
money.
tell us. Please wear that. And here's this. And everybody, please stand to welcome Michael Owens to the Rotary Club of Savannah. Very Very good. Two new wonderful members. Okay. Larry, are you ready to introduce our speaker who just flew down from Atlanta this morning? Thank
It is my very distinct pleasure and honor to introduce you to today's speaker, President and co-CEO of Gray Media, WTOC's parent company, Pat Laplante. I first met Pat in 2007 when he joined Raycom Media, WTOC's then owner, as Vice President of Digital Media. During his time with Raycom, Pat would ascend to various positions, including COO and eventually CEO. In January of 2019, when Gray Media purchased Raycom, Pat was named president and co-CEO of the combined company. Before joining Raycom, Pat lent his many talents to several major media companies, including the Tube Music Network, Westwood One, Blair Television, Metro Networks, and Raycom Sports. Pat is a very proud graduate of Notre Dame, and he and his wife are also equally proud parents of 4 children. On a personal note, I have to tell you that Pat is one of the smartest people I ever met. I don't say that because he's my boss, which he is, but I say that because it's true. And I'm sure that at the end of today's presentation, you'll agree as well. Please welcome Pat Laplante.
First like to point out that I'm married to a bulldog. For those of you, well, yeah, it's not complete penance, but a little part. Thanks, Larry. That was wonderful. Real quickly, we're gonna, let me see if I can find let me find my glasses first. We're gonna walk through a little bit on Gray TV this morning. We'll try to do that as quickly as we can and then talk a little bit about a project that we're working on in Atlanta, the Assembly, which is a large studio complex. But first, just a few things about Gray. And you can't read any of that. That was by design, actually. That's we call this our logo soup page. So when I was with Raycom, and Larry was with Raycom, and Barry and Marshall were with Raycom back 18, 19, I think we had 30 or 40 television stations. We've essentially tripled the size of the company in the last 3 years. A lot of work, but very, very rewarding. If you're wondering, WTOC, I think, is up there on the top towards the right, WTOC 11. The businesses down the left-hand side of the page are production companies, which I'll talk about in a couple of minutes here. This is even tougher. That's the map view of our television stations. So we are in 113 markets, mostly smaller and mid-size, although we are in Atlanta, we're in Phoenix, Arizona, which is a pretty good sized market. But that is the amalgam of a lot of different television groups that were acquired by either Raycom or Gray over the last 5 or 10 years. Very, very big footprint in the Southeast US, as you can see. Also in the Midwest, and then we've got a few in the upper Midwest, and we're kind of working our way west. We were also in Alaska and Hawaii, which are fun places to visit if you go at the right time of the year. So you can tell this is from the investor deck. We are a public company. And we, as you can see, 113 markets, 71% of our television stations are like WTOC in Savannah, #1 in their market. They've been around for a long time, have very, very strong news operations like TOC. Almost 90% are #1 or #2. I'm still trying to sort of wrap my arms around what 10.2 billion minutes means. I'm not really sure, but I think what that does mean is we have pretty strong digital platforms. And then we have a number of affiliates for each of the, we call them the big 4 networks. And then we also have CW stations and some independents and you name it, a whole lot of broadcast stations. And then we have these additional businesses, which I'll just walk through real quickly, and then we'll get into the production side of the business. So I'll start on the right, actually. A little logo at the top there with what looks like an N, and then the word fuel. We are invested in an esports team and business in Dallas, Texas. We own 15 to 20% of it. It's an area that is, so I have 4 sons. I guess sons are the theme of the day here. We spend a lot of time in front of a TV doing this, and it's crazy the sort of high level movement of audience into that world and the amount of time they spend doing it. So we decided we're going to try to get in relatively early, and that is the logo for Team Envy out of Dallas, which we own a piece of. Premion is a digital video marketing group. We actually own a small percentage of that. Digital video advertising has gotten really popular. In fact, just this morning on the way over, I read an article. It's going to grow 40% this year. So Premion will be one of the beneficiaries of that. And some of you in this room actually use it. It's actually a very effective advertising product. Circle is probably the best way to think about Circle. It's a country music network, country lifestyle and country music network. We are 50-50 partners with the Opry Entertainment Group. Those are the guys in Nashville that own the Grand Ole Opry and the Ryman Auditorium. In addition to the archives from the Opry, they have a joint venture with Blake Shelton called Ole Red and a couple other assets, but we joined forces with them about 3 years ago to start a country music network. We felt like CMT, where there used to be TNN, the Nashville network, and then there is CMT that kind of got away from the business of country. And if you go to CMT, you're just as likely to see 16 Candles on their air as something that's, something about country music, right? And so this is sort of pure country. And again, it's a relatively, I won't say it's a startup, it's a relatively new company. And then you can, as you get down lower, the one on the left there, we're actually a partner in a company that owns Monster Truck Tours, which we've owned for about 3 years. That actually is a very good business. They just finished up a show in Hoffman Estates, Illinois this weekend and sold 15,000 tickets. Go figure. But it's actually a pretty decent business. Next to that, with the little globe looking thing is a group called World Chase Tag. This is something probably none of you in this room have heard about, but it's a new sport where you essentially have a 40-foot square with obstacles in it. And young men sort of chase each other around these obstacles for 20 seconds. There's a chaser and an evader. And if the evader evades the guy for 20 seconds, he gets the point. If the chaser gets the guy, he gets the point. It's much bigger outside the US than it is in the US, but I would tell you that the YouTube numbers for World Chase Tag are crazy. If you want to see it, just go to WCT or worldchasetag.com. It's actually really, it's perfect sort of short attention span theater kind of stuff, because it's 20-second race. You wait a minute, another race, and it's perfect for the younger, for my kids, basically. They love it. And then Syncback is a really at its core, a technology company that was the plumbing and the electric behind Paramount Plus and some of the bigger streaming services. We own roughly 25% of the equity in that. Then on the left, those are our production companies. Some of you may have heard of Raycom Sports for years. They've worked with the Atlantic Coast Conference, not the SEC, but the Atlantic Coast Conference. And I spent a lot of time. I spent 7 years back in the 90s at Raycom Sports, so they're near and dear to my heart. Tupelo Honey's another production company, does a lot of, Raycom Sports does mostly ACC stuff. They do preseason football for the Carolina Panthers. They do the new MLS team in Charlotte. And then Tupelo Honey does sort of smaller, sort of D2 types of productions, in addition to boxing, live music, all kinds of different stuff. Next up is Origin Sports, which is a OTT and over-the-top network that was started by Raycom Sports that really, it's a play off the archive at Raycom Sports. Raycom Sports has been around since 1982. They have all kinds of, basketball games right back to Michael Jordan, actually. And so it's a way for that company to sort of exploit their archive. Power Nation Studios is a group out of Franklin, Tennessee, just south of Nashville. It's, we call it like gearhead programming, programming for auto enthusiasts. Great little business, fun place to visit because they're always redoing some vintage vehicle or whatever. And it's kind of neat. And it's actually a very, very solid little business. And then dynamic captioning. When we acquired Meredith last year, we acquired a captioning company which works with TV stations and networks. And then lower left, you see Assembly and Third Rail. So Third Rail is a studio business that we bought after we bought the land for the Assembly project. And again, I'll get into that in a second. The Third Rail, there are 3 sound stages at Third Rail. And then not listed here, we actually own half of a business out west of Atlanta in Paulding County, where there's 2 stages currently. We're getting ready to build 4 more out there. You get the
sense that, and I'll show you some numbers in a second, the film and television production business in the state of Georgia is absolutely on fire. And what we're doing here is essentially, as soon as the studio comes online, it gets booked for years. And if people will go out to Paulding County to do their shooting, which is basically 25 miles west, and it's not an easy place to get to in the morning or in the afternoon, having a big studio complex inside the perimeter of Atlanta, we think will be a good business. So let's keep going here. And then finally, over the last couple of years, as I mentioned, we have a lot of TV stations. Raycom's grown, pardon me, Gray and Raycom together, plus Meredith, plus Quincy have grown like a weed. Big company and a good business with really good people. So this is, I'm going to sort of move over to the, and I think, did you have somebody from the Georgia Film Commission recently to talk to you guys? No? Oh, was it last year? Okay. So this chart it's really easy to see why we're building studios in Georgia. This is the amount of, the direct spend on film and television in the state. I think it starts down at the bottom there in 07 through last year. So $4 billion in television and film in the state of Georgia. And they do quite a bit of shooting around here. In Atlanta, it's a very, very big business getting bigger. So I think next up, this is an overview of our project called Assembly. The reason it's called Assembly is because it's on the site of the old GM assembly plant in Doraville, it's about 5 miles north of Buckhead. It's just literally right inside the perimeter on the north side. They put GM cars together there for 50 years, and then it sort of went dormant back, I think, between 2010 and 2015. And so it sort of sat there, and eventually they took the facility down. But when we bought it last year, to start sort of creating or start building, we actually had to chop up about 100 acres of cement. And if you ever, the machines they bring in to do this, like I had a Bob the Builder moment, right? I mean, these machines are massive, and they come in, they chop this literally 100 acres of cement up. And we've now sort of regraded everything. It's like part crush and run, part this and that. I'm not a building guy, but for me, it was fascinating watching that happen. And it's a very, very big project. It was the largest tract of land, undeveloped land inside the perimeter. In fact, the Braves looked at locating there before they went out to Cobb County. So it's a big project. We're not really, we're broadcasters, not really in the real estate business, but we felt like this is such an interesting opportunity in a field allied to what we do for a living, actually closely allied to what we do, that it made sense. So I think I've got some videos here. Yeah, I've got a couple videos. They're both about 2 minutes long, and I'm just going to click and see what happens here. So that's probably tough for you guys to read. Is there any way to go full screen on that? So these are animations. That's third rail, which is there. They'll do an animation of the development. Coming out of the ground actually this week. So we get the foundations laid on the first studios. have our own cement mixing plant on site. Hopefully, this will actually give you a little better vision of what the complex will look like. It's got a flyover. Music's killing me. So 125 acres, mixed use, obviously, the highlight, obviously, the studios. I'm going to give you some stills just to give you a little better feel for it. So this is the entrance. Nice kind of overview shot. There's going to be a 5-acre park in the middle. This is kind of interesting. So the streets will all be shootable. So there'll be a Brooklyn brownstones. There'll be, New Orleans facades. There'll be facades from Europe. There'll be everything's going to be. So this particular scene here, I guess it's a warehouse look, but behind that warehouse facade are studios. So the whole sort of complex in and around the office space, the studios themselves will be externally, will be shooting there on a regular basis. Let's see what else we got here. This is this is one of the production studios, or actually that's an office building. In the little area on top is called the Jewel Box. We're going to do special events in there, so I'll have a nice look out over the city of Atlanta and the development. And then another sort of overview look. You can see on the right, there's a large video tower that will be very clearly visible from 285 on the north side, and then you'll actually be able to see it from 85 as well. And that's just one more look. So, with the knowledge that I'm not a real estate guy or a studio guy, I'm happy to answer any questions you guys might have about this. It's a fun development. We think it's going to, we will have an announcement in the next, I've been saying this for a while, but I feel safe saying this now. We'll have an announcement in the next, by the end of May, about an anchor tenant in the studios. It's a company that you guys are all familiar with. Long-term deal that will be a catalyst to sort of getting everything else going out there. So it's our hope within the next 2 to 3 years, it'll be a very, very significant new development and a real boom to Atlanta, into the film community. There candidly doesn't need it, but it's going to put it into sort of hyper growth mode. So thank you very much. Appreciate you guys having me today.
We have a small token. Thank you so much for flying all the way down here and giving that presentation.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And if you can pull a
Uh-oh.
raffle ticket, pull out your raffle tickets. Last four are 7045. This goes to Senior Citizen Inc. 7045. Do we need to pull it again? Pat, need to pull it again. All right. Dale, was that you? Okay. He always wins. All right. How about this one? 1776. 1776.
There we go.
Who is that? Oh, good. Here you go. Come on up. Here you go. Thank you. Okay, I've got a few announcements. First of all, I just want to also mention that Dr. Trammell, the head of the journalism and mass communication, is here today. And that might be some good partnership here, definitely. Yeah, definitely. There's lots of possibilities for interns. So yeah, please connect afterwards. Thank you. Okay, Eddie, you said that your wife could help sew that on? Oh, all right. And did you know that I only have 8 more meetings left? I want to continue my thank yous. Of course, tomorrow we leave for Serbia, and I want to thank past President Ted Kleisner for his leadership in this huge global grant. Not only is it the $78,000 that we raised with 18 clubs around here, it's attached to a $1 million project. So it's a really big deal. And I want to thank Frank Moore in helping to navigate the world of district grants and global grants. That was the hardest thing with becoming president. Thank you, Frank. It's a maze, but it is the heartbeat of what Rotary does, especially the global grants. I want to thank Tom McGoldrick for all his foundation work and keeping up with the many donations that our club makes. And also he polishes this bell every once in a while. So thank you for that. I want to thank Zoe Rinker for all her help with coordinating the tree planting at Wormslow and the wonderful speakers' gifts throughout the year. Please know that your help is really, really appreciated in your service to Rotary. And with that, this time next week, I will be up there running the meeting. Say some safe travel prayers because I am actually really nervous, but it's all going to be fine. And meeting adjourned. Thank you. They have the largest green room in Savannah. Really? Savannah State.